Now, throughout the year, as part of our ITIL for Application Support series, we have surveyed our audiences so that we can learn about the challenges you are facing within your application support departments, and so that we can create webinars that will help you to address those challenges. And I'd like to share some of the results at this time. 68% of our respondents said that one of their key challenges is to improve the customer's perception of the value of application support. 58% are faced with reducing incidents and problems, and another 58% are interested in improving the performance of application support. Now, today's webinar on continual service improvement should help you with these challenges. And these challenges are also indicative of today's business environment. Businesses are expecting IT to deliver value. Now, in 2004, Nicholas Carr published a controversial book entitled, Does IT Matter? And this sparked a firestorm within IT because the book states really that IT's strategic importance has diminished. And as reflected in Larry Ellison's quote up above, Carr suggests that business should reduce IT spending. And this is because it's difficult to gain a competitive advantage from an IT investment. And actually, he maintains that it's much easier to put your business at a cost disadvantage. Now, this book has influenced the thinking of many business leaders, and it's forcing IT organizations to demonstrate the value that they bring to the business. And so as a result, IT organizations are being scrutinized more closely than ever. We're striving to be more relevant. We're trying to add value. We're trying to show value. And we're doing all this while still trying to keep the lights on. We're doing this while, so to speak, keeping all the balls in the air. And because IT is connected with all major business functions, many IT organizations are successfully using service management strategies to demonstrate value and to change the perception that IT is only about software development. Now, you're attending this webinar because you want to learn how to use this ITIL thing you keep hearing about. You'd like to learn how ITIL can be used to align your services with your business objectives, manage your services, measure your services, improve your services, and achieve a 20 to 30% improvement in either more work or less cost. And more specifically, you want to learn how ITIL's continual service improvement can be used in a practical way to improve application support. Now, in this webinar, I'm going to show you a three-step approach that you can use to learn how ITIL can improve the delivery of one of IT's most important services, namely application maintenance and support, or simply application support. Now, first, I want to provide you with a working understanding of ITIL, specifically ITIL Service Management. And to do this, I'm going to quickly review its origins and its background. ITIL is the flagship standard, so to speak, of IT service management. And the quote accurately describes the need that ITIL addresses. As providers of IT services, we can no longer afford to focus solely on technology. We have to focus on the quality of the services that we provide, and we have to focus on our relationships with our customers. Now, IT service management, or as the abbreviation is ITSM, is really a discipline for managing IT. It's intended to align IT services with the needs of the business, and it emphasizes benefits to customers. IT service management really involves a shift in our focus. We have to stop managing IT as if it were simply stacks of hardware or technology components. We have to shift our focus to using best practice models to deliver end-to-end services. Now, ITSM helps us to do this. It focuses on adding and demonstrating value to the business. Now, ITIL stands for IT Infrastructure Library, and it's a published set of best practices for IT service management. It was developed in the UK by the Office of Government Commerce, and in 1989 is really when the first ITIL book was published, and it was entitled Service Level Management. Now, between 1989 and 2000, the OGC collaborated with many IT service professionals from around the world and published a second version. And these collaborations have continued, and in 2007, ITIL version 3 was published, and ITIL version 3 is the most current version. Now for version 3, the OGC created a comprehensive service lifecycle, and it's comprised of 5 phases. Service strategy is in the teal in the center, and it's the centering stage, or it's the first stage. Service design is depicted in the red arrow. Service transition is the next phase. That's depicted in blue. Service operation is sort of the orangish color. And then finally, surrounding it all is continual service improvement. Now I want to offer another view of the ITIL V3 lifecycle. And it shows the outputs of each phase and how each output is passed on to the next subsequent phase. And it shows the interactions between each phase and shows how each builds value for the business and how each focuses on service operation. In service strategy, in the upper left, in the blue, the service is defined and it's modeled. And here the cost of the service is defined. In service design, the service is designed and developed, and it's depicted here in the red box. In service transition, the service is implemented and its cost is validated. And in service operation, which is depicted off to the left, is where the service is delivered, it's managed, and it's measured. And then finally, in continual service improvement, opportunities for optimization are identified and they're implemented. And then you would cycle through the entire cycle again. If you would want to implement improvements, you would see how it would affect your strategy. It would affect your design of the service. You would transition it into the day-to-day service operation phase. Now, I'd like to summarize an application support view of the life cycle. This is a more specific view as applied to application support, not necessarily IT in general. As before, you can see how each phase flows, or how each outcome of each phase flows into the next phase. You can also see how each phase focuses again on service operations off to the right. And additionally, you can see how the operational work processes evolve. Each phase identifies requirements for those work processes, and each requirement flows into service strategy and result in a service operations work processes that are customized for the business. And these processes are integrated within a service management tool, in our case, Tracer. Now I'd like to walk through a quick example to maybe illustrate this. In service strategy, for instance, we would recognize the needs of the business and would determine what types of service and work should be done by an application support team. For our example, let's say the service strategy has determined that the team will manage incidents. Service design, the next phase, which is in red, would define how the team would work with incidents. It would define what incidents are, how they will be processed, and how will they be resolved, and the service level goals associated with each type of incident. For instance, a severity level might be critical, a critical incident, and a service level goal might be that the team must resolve all critical incidents within 4 hours. These would be noted in the team's service level agreement. Service transition would be the third phase in the blue, and it would actually define the team's incident process, and it would implement it within the service management tool, again, in our case, Tracer. And the service level goals for the team would also be put into this tool. In service operations, off to the right, the team would be activated and the processes would be running. In our example, the team would use the incident process to manage incidents that they receive, and they would use Tracer to measure and report on